I got them freckles, girl, all over my body. I got them freckles, girl, all over.
What's up, guys? Is there like a law on YouTube where you have to say, what's up, guys? Whoa, it's bright. It's almost like everybody's like, what's up, guys? Anyways, what's up, guys?
So,
thanks for watching my YouTube video. Please consider subscribing. Dude, what? Why are you...
I make my YouTube video, man.
I know, I'm also making a YouTube video. Do you have to stand right there?
Well, everyone knows that this parking lot gets the best reception.
That is true.
Guys, this is the problem with life. Every single day you gotta deal with shit.
Keep watching. See you soon.
And we're back. Episode number 1. I like saying "and we're back." It's something I do with my friends, even on the phone. I go, "And we're back." Hi guys, this is Darren Carter. Welcome to Pocket Party. I'm a professional comedian. For the new listeners, you may have seen me on The Tonight Show, Showtime. I have a great YouTube channel. I put up videos every week. And also on Instagram, official Darren Carter. I'm a dad. I'm a comic. I've been doing comedy for almost 25, 26, 27 years, somewhere in there. And you'll see me out there if you ever get bored and you want to go on YouTube and check it out. I live here. I'm Los Angeles based, living in Burbank. And I want to give a shout out to my first sponsor. It's called the Thai Room. It's a great Thai restaurant. It's on Hollywood Way near Porto's, if you guys are familiar with the Burbank area. It's 821 North Hollywood Way. The Thai Room. Tell them you want the Pocket Party Darren Carter Friend Special. You tell them you want the Darren Carter Friend Special, and they will hook it up. I guarantee it. They're so good over there. Cheap, delicious, healthy food. And so sitting next to me is a good friend of mine. You may have seen us on some episodes together on YouTube. His name is Bryan Swinehart. He's a comic. He's an actor. He's an all-around good guy. I know him from Ohio. I don't know him from Ohio, but I know he's from Ohio, and he's worked as a stand-in for Matthew McConaughey, and guy's always working on something. He's either directing a film, like a small budget, low budget film, or he's working on a set somewhere. He's always doing something, and I say hi to everybody, will you, Bryan?
Hey everybody, it's good to be here, Darren. Thanks for putting me on episode 1, man. That's really cool. Thanks.
You're welcome, man. And like I said, I want the audio is going to sound even better as these episodes progress. And I want your feedback, guys. Let us know what you like, even what you don't like. I want this process to be good. I used to have a podcast from 2010 to 2013, and I did 213 episodes. And then my partner that I would do the podcast with, that's one thing I've learned. Don't work with a partner, because eventually they're going to want to quit, and you're going to. It's like, so you got to start all over, which is good. We're, bigger and better things. And he's welcome to come back as a guest if he ever wants to. But what I was going to say is, what I like about using Anchor is it's an app that's on the phone, and you can whip out your phone and do a podcast on the run, running and gunning, man, like in the moment. You don't have to hey, let's meet on Wilshire at 3 o'clock, and then people flake. So it's like, this is the best. Do you listen to podcasts, Bryan?
Yeah, I like, I guess I like most comics. I like Joe Rogan and Bill Burr. Their podcasts pretty much is the main ones I listen to.
Those are great, huh? And then Joey Diaz, The Church of What's Happening Now. Love that one.
I like Tripoli's conspiracy theory one that he
does.
He's
good, yeah.
And so I guess, I like to listen on YouTube. I guess it's not podcasts, but man, I love to listen to motivational speakers like Les Brown and stuff like that.
Hey, you know what's funny? My son's 10 years old, and so I was showing him some Rocky clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite clips is from the movie Rocky Balboa. It's really like, Rocky 5?
Yeah.
The one where Rocky's like, hey, life ain't all about sunshine and rainbows. It ain't how hard you hit, but how hard you can get hit and keep on going. But my son's 10. I mean, he doesn't have any use for any motivational speech.
Yeah.
He's like, boring, because he hasn't lived life yet. Once you start getting beat down by life, that's when Rocky comes and lifts you up. But that's kind of what I want to talk about here on this podcast. It's called Pocket Party. And if you know my comedy, you guys know I use a flashlight. And I know this sounds corny, but I like to shine a light in life. I want there to be a light in life, because there's a lot of darkness out there, and kind of what's happening. If you write, on Twitter, if you write like, good morning, sometimes people are like, what's so good about it? And it's just like, dude, listen, man. Or Twitter is outraged. A girl wore a dress that was made in China or whatever, like a traditional Chinese. It's like, guys, stop being so. Can we just stop? And it's just these platforms that they know that when we're negative, that it gets more people. It's like a feeding frenzy, like sharks and chums. So I want to bring out the positive. And one of my favorite podcasts, and a good friend of mine is Steve Simeone. Yeah. But I mean, even if I wasn't his friend, I would be listening to that podcast. And his podcast is called The Good Times, and it's kind of like nostalgia and what it's like when you're a kid growing up, and it's really a feel-good, fun kind of podcast. It's funny too to me. You know how we're talking about other podcasts? Mm-hmm. I did somebody's podcast, and a couple of weeks ago, and I go, hey, Joe Rogan does this, and Joey Diaz does that and he was like, dude, we don't mention other podcasts on here, as if people are gonna like hit pause. And then be like, I didn't know Joe Rogan had a podcast. It's like, dude, just come on, man. If you're listening to this podcast, you know about other podcasts. So there you go. So we made a little gratitude list. I told Bryan to write down five things that he's thankful for, and I'll write down 5 things, and we'll just go back and forth. And but let's do a backstory real quick. If you guys go to YouTube, I interviewed him. I said, tell me about your first job. And it's just the two of us, and he told me about his first job. The way that I met Bryan, it was, how many years ago was that?
Man, that was probably 2005 or 6, maybe. Man, I was
it was before our son was born, and he's 10 years old. And my wife and I, we went to Bob's Big Boy, and who comes up? Bryan Swinehart. He was a server back then, or a waiter. Yeah. And how did you know I was a comedian?
Well, I had been to Dublin's actually to watch shows, and I had just started doing comedy. So what I would do is I would go to HaHa, do the open mic, and then I would come be a waiter at Bob's Big Boy graveyard shift. But everybody knew Darren, especially at Bob's, because he'd come in there a lot. And one of the girls, other waitresses, knew I was a comic, and she said, you got to be his waiter. You got to be his waiter. So she gave me Darren's table so I could meet Darren.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, because, and at that time, Darren, you were on BET, and you some other, I think you were in a movie too. So she gave me Darren's table to help me out to, introduce me to some real comedians, because at the time I was just paying $5 to do the HaHa open mic. So
really?
Yeah, dude. So I would just, go do that. Then I would go to work a graveyard shift. And so that was pretty cool for me at the time, because plus Dublin's was an old show that was on Sunset Boulevard, and all the comics, man, that was like the beast of shows back then. I've never seen any show like it. That was a gig that Jay Davis used to run, and as a new comic, dude, I would go there every Tuesday night and watch the real comics do their thing. It
was great because it was on Sunset. It was between Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store and the Improv, like that little triangle. So you'd get like Vince Vaughn and just different celebrities coming in to watch. The place was standing room only, and great comedians on stage, and celebrities, and
a lot of girls.
Britney Spears. I used to see Britney Spears there. It was incredible. But anyways, my wife and I, we went to Bob's Big Boy, and you walk up, you're a waiter, and you're like, hey, I'm a comic from Ohio, and I don't know if you had the tape in your car, but he actually gave me a VHS tape. Tell us what happened.
So we talked the first time we met, right? And then I had so I was like, okay. So I didn't have anything to give to Darren or anything, like that. So that what I did was I started bringing my VHS in my apron, and then,
oh my god!
And then,
wow!
And then so the next time Darren came in, I hit him with the VHS, and the cool thing was that, right now it's hard enough to get people to watch your YouTubes, right? You don't want to watch nobody's bull crap. So then, and I had just started, I really sucked. So I give Darren my VHS, and then
imagine some guy's carrying VHS tapes in his waiter outfit, apron, and he knows that these tapes suck, and he still passes them out.
Well, I didn't know they sucked that bad as I do now, but I knew they weren't good. Yeah. I knew there's a reason why I'm working the graveyard shift at Bob's Big Boy, you know. So, so I give Darren the tape, and probably about 2 weeks later, he comes in with his wife, and they had just watched a concert. I think you were coming back from some kind of country music concert.
Yeah.
And they had notes on my set of ways to improve it. I remember because I had some jokes about I had gotten married or whatever at the time, and you had some jokes.
You married a stripper or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a strip. Yeah, she was a stripper, you know, but she wasn't. Yeah, she was a stripper. Then she wasn't a stripper. Then she was a stripper. Then we got divorced. So. Yeah,
one of my notes was, bring her to a show. I want to meet her. No. And my wife crossed that one off. No, don't invite no stripper. No, but,
yeah. So I think I gave you an ice cream after that or something.
That was cool. Yeah. Man, all I know is I was like, I'm going to watch it. You know, I like him. I'm going to see what it's all about. Yeah. And no one had ever, no comic had ever given me a VHS tape. Now, like you said, I was on BET, so I had, you know, I'd be walking down Sunset and rappers would be like, "Yo, man, I seen you on BET, man. Here's check out my my CD." And usually they sucked, but I was like, I never seen a comic give me a VHS tape, and there was something about it, and I was like, this guy's got it, you know. And you were very green, wet behind the ears, and all that, but still, it was something. I was like, there's something there, man. So that's my point, you know. Like, it's real easy to get down in this world or even in this entertainment business. So. I'm inspired by Steve Simeone to do a gratitude list. I was talking to him about him. I was talking to him about this last night, and you know, I'll start. One of the things I'm grateful for is my family. I'm really happy to you know, be married over 20 years and have a 10-year-old son, and I still look kind of young. No, I'm happy to, because I remember when I was in LA. And I was single. It's lonely, man. It's lonely, and I'd go home, and you know, and just, man. So to be able to have like a wonderful like wife who I would say, she also gets me material too. Like I'll say something and she'll say something, and boom, next thing you know, it's a joke. You know, like what's a good example? Okay, this happened. This happened. Okay. This is live. I haven't put this out there yet on anything. This just happened. So we've been. Our biggest arguments are usually about the air conditioner, or when we play tennis. We'll argue about if the ball was in or out. You know, in the line or over the line. And so the other day we got into an argument, and I go. It was out, and she's like, it was in, and she's like, your eyes are bad, and I'm like, no, but it was. I know, and so a couple days later, I'm looking for something in the fridge. I couldn't find it, and she walks over, you know, and man, she found it within like 5 seconds. And as soon as she touched it was the Parmesan cheese. As soon as she touched it, she goes, "I told you that ball was in." Yeah. I'm like, damn it. So yeah, I'm thankful. Now, in the moment, you know, of course, you're not really laughing. You're just like, gosh, like, you know, like, let it go, woman.
She's funny, dude.
She's very funny. I mean, dude, I know. She got on me about being late one time, and I was like, oh, it's not me, it's my friend Bryan. He's the one that's late, and I blame you. And then she's like, see, your friends, they know you're going to be late. That's why they're late. And you were like, Darren, don't throw me under the bus.
I've been waiting outside for 10 minutes for you.
I know. I was like, well, dude, if I did throw you under the bus, I'd probably be late, and that bus would be long gone. All right, so yeah, I'm thankful for family. Give me something you're thankful for. Dude. So you're like opposite. You're like single. You're like, I'm thankful for Tinder, Bumble. I'm thankful for porn. I'm thankful for. No, I'm just. No.
Man, something happened today that I'm thankful for, man. So I've been sleeping on my mattress, you know, because I'm cheap and I just like to, you know, and I'm fucking broke. I'm more worried about buying plane tickets to the next gig than getting a fucking bed.
That's how it should be, though. We should be, you know what I mean? You got your eyes on the prize.
Yeah, so I'm like,
that's right. You sleep on the floor. As long as you sleep on the floor, you'll be flying first class American Airlines.
Yeah, I don't know if I've gotten the first class tickets yet, but man, so I'm more.
Dude, you know what? Let me just tell you real real quick. I don't mean to interrupt, but I know because I go, dude, pick an airline, stick with it if you can. Like Southwest is great. I love Southwest. They don't charge for bags. They fly out of Burbank. They fly out of LAX. I mean, they're just if you cancel, it's okay with. They're not gonna. Cool. Yeah, they're cool. You can use your flight for a future flight, but you pick some weird. Didn't you pick like Spirit Airlines or something?
Oh yeah.
And they canceled the flight because there wasn't enough people on the plane or something like that once.
Well, I once got Spirit, man. They're always getting. No, what happened with me and Spirit was the first time was I didn't know about that bag extra charge.
No, what was the one where you ended up driving to Salt Lake?
Oh, that was Frontier.
So what happened? Tell us about that one.
Dude, I don't know what happened exactly because I'm in Vegas and I'm flying to Salt Lake. And so I'm like, and I get there and I'm waiting in line. The line's forever, and they're like, dude, they're canceling the flight. And I didn't sit around to ask questions, so I just got in my car and drove to Salt Lake. But I got a $200 voucher for the flight.
Oh, cool.
So I used that for this trip I'm doing coming up to go to Ohio and Michigan on Friday. So I mean that did work out in my favor a little bit, although it was stressful and I was driving really fast to.
Yeah, don't ever do that, man. I saw this in this book I was reading. There was this guy named String. I told you the story, but I'll tell the listeners. There was a musician called String Bean. He was a country music artist back in the day, and he told the people driving him to the gig. He said, "Hey, we don't need to speed. I'd rather them say String Bean was late." Than the late String Bean. So there you go.
That's true, man. That's true. You got to be slow because it sucks because you get all worried. Oh man, I'm going to be late. This and that. But that was stressful. But so I just pick. Man, I should probably pick an airline. I just keep going for whichever ones are cheaper. But that's not always the best way.
So what's on your list? Number one thing you're grateful for?
Well, today, I mean, overall, it would be my mom. But today is. That I got this bed. Well, I got a futon from my neighbor lady downstairs. I got not the whole futon, just what you set your bed on.
The frame.
The frame. I got the futon frame. So she's moving out, and she had that. So I put it up in my room.
Nice.
And it my whole mindset was better today.
Yeah, you went from sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
To being about 2 feet above the floor.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
So for some reason that made me feel really good today.
You're like what do they call them? Like the deep sea divers. They get the bends when they come up too fast. You can't go from a deep sea to the surface. You get sick. Did you get sick when you slept from the floor to 3 feet off the floor?
Yeah, I was feeling it, man. I was feeling.
Were you feeling tipsy and full of yourself? I made it now.
I was feeling pretty confident, thinking, man, I don't have to sleep on the mattress on the floor. And
that's more storage space now because you'll be able to sleep on top of the frame and then put some stuff underneath the bed.
I thought of that. I didn't think about that. I was like, oh man, it'll take up more space. But then when I saw it, it's like, no, it takes up less space, and it looks cooler. So man, I'm glad that. She moved out and she had that and gave it to me.
I got to ask you a question. You're a single man in L.A.
Yeah.
Have you ever brought any lady back to your room and she saw the mattress on the floor and didn't care?
4 or 5 of them.
Ooh. So now that so now that you got a frame, it might go up to 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, man. But some of them are oh, this is. I brought this girl back, man, and I had chicken in my place, and I didn't throw it out, and it was smelling up my place, and then she came in, oh, your place is gross, and left, and I'm still mad at myself for that one.
Yeah.
I think on my deathbed, I'm going to be sitting there, remembering that moment, just, why was I so stupid not to throw my chicken away?
Dude, I remember in my single days, it was stupid. I'd go on a date, and this girl, I remember I thought I made my place look good.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, she just totally just dressed me down. She's like, what are you thinking? Because I took one of those Christmas tree air fresheners that you hang on your rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And I hung it on the smoke alarms, because there was nowhere else to hang it. So I hung it on the smoke alarms.
Right.
And then she's like, and look at this. And then she was like, look at your sheets. They're rolled up into a ball at the foot of your bed. You didn't even make your bed. And then she just started going, and she's like, and what's all this loose change all over your dresser? And then she's like, and then you got and then she started just pointing at stuff that my roommates had, and I'm like, well, that's not mine, though. And she's like, you got 5 non-working guitars all over your living room. I was like, yeah, I know. None of us know how to play it. Okay, so you're grateful for that. No, I'm okay. My thing I'm thankful for. My second list is I'm thankful for technology. You know, I'm thankful that we can do a podcast. That we can, if I think of an idea, I can make a YouTube video. I can put it on Instagram. I can add words and text to a picture. I can express myself. I can have as much fun online as I am on stage, because I remember a time in the 90s, dude, when I started out, the only time you could be funny is when you got a gig. So you'd be like, if you were working that week, it was great. But if you weren't, you're like, man, you had to like get stage time, and you could only get satisfied like for that 8 to 10 minutes you were on stage, unless you know, until you started featuring. But now it's like, man, it's endless. If you want to wake up and roll out of bed in the middle of the night, you know, you want to roll out of that futon in the middle of like the night, you can roll over and record a podcast. You can do an Insta Live. You can do a Facebook Live. You can put something on YouTube. I'm really thankful for that.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you know what? I guess I got to think more like that, because I think of technology, and it always has like this negative feeling towards me, because it's like such a thing of change, and like, but you're finding the good out of it, because I think of a lot of the negative things that come with it.
I know, and I told you that, like, I said, be a creator, not a consumer, because, if you're just, I've done it too. We've all done it. Like, where you waste your time just going through your Facebook feed or going. How does it apply? It doesn't really add to my life. Like what Adam Carolla says: if it doesn't make me money and it doesn't make me happy, why do it? So if it doesn't make you money and it doesn't make you happy, don't do it.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. So
number 2 on your list for what you're grateful for.
Man, number 2 is this show I just did here at Flappers. It was fun. Everybody had a great time, and I'm just so grateful to get spots and to do jokes. And I had a bit that I've been working on forever. Finally, I'm like, okay, finally, it's to the point where I can feel comfortable every time putting it in my set, and it's gonna work. And that's kind of like a good feeling, like that something you've been working on for a while, kind of not doing good, then getting better, and then better, until the point where you're like, okay, now this is a professional bit. It takes 2 minutes to do, and I can use it pretty much in front of any crowd.
I love it when stuff in our life really happens, and then we can bring it to the stage, like that tennis story. Or you were telling me when you went to the state in the wrestling champion, and some of the stuff that you went all the way to like the state finals or something like that.
I made it to the state tournament, which was a huge accomplishment for me from where I started. But that was my goal, my senior year, my last 2 years, my junior, senior year, my whole life. I had nothing mattered to me, but I got to make it to state. I got to make it to state. And then I beat a guy who had pinned me 5 times in our career to make it to state. And it was like the biggest moment of my... To this day, dude, that was a big moment in my life.
That's weird. Really cool.
Yeah, it's like I look back to that. Everything I do when I'm nervous for a gig, I went to state. When I fucking am worried about anything, I just say, I went to state.
Oh, sure. We got the signal. We're here in the green room. We gotta wrap it up. They want us to get out of here. I'm thankful for more stuff. We'll get to the list later. I want to thank you guys for listening, and check out Bryan Swinehart on his Instagram. It's
Bryan Swinehart, BrianSwinehart.
Like Kevin Hart, but he's Bryan Swinehart.
Yeah,
I like it. Thank you guys for checking out my Instagram, official Darren Carter, for listening to this podcast. Share it. Give me some information on what you thought, some feedback, and let's do more of these, man. And I really appreciate you guys listening, and I'll see you soon. Leave comments on my YouTube. Leave comments anywhere you can. Talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Pocket Party, Darren Carter, party starter.
Yo, yeah. Yo, what? Yo. Dude, what do you want? Yo. Dude, I'm trying to start my song here. Yo. Spit it out. Yo. I got freckles everywhere, even in my underwear. Down there, don't stare. I use Nair, so there's no hair. Bare like a pear, not hairy like a kiwi. Kiwis are hairy, and that gets kinda scary.
Come on, baby girl, I wanna see what you got. You like my freckles? Let's play connect the dots. Let's do it on the beach and blend into the sand. You know you want ginger over Marianne.
I got them freckles, girl, all over my body. I got them freckles, girl, all over my body.
When I was a kid, my hair was black. But then something happened, something went whack. This big bully pushed me in my back. I stumbled around into the cabbage patch.
Lindsay Lohan ain't got nothing on me. I'm covered with freckles from my nose to my knees.
Straw hat, flip-flops, swagger when I walk. Covered head to toe with my creamy sunblock.
SPF 10 don't do me no good. I need a sunscreen that's thicker than wood.
It's a remix. It's a remix. It's a remix.